then you have to go for the group tryout. So now I am going to explain you the group tryout. Now, the purpose of the group tryout is to do item analysis. The objective of it to do item analysis. Now, in case of scale and inventory, the item analysis is to be done on the basis of discrimination index only. Why? Because each tool, the main purpose is to discriminate. My dear friend, the test, the exams which you have taken, the items there, the question papers there were such that they could discriminate amongst the students. Now, many a times when you go to attend a party, after dressing, then you stand in front of a mirror and then you take a 360 angle turn, because you are trying to find out whether your dress is okay or not. So you want to discriminate between your features, your appearance before dressing up and after dressing up. That's the discrimination. Many a times when you invite someone for lunch or dinner, while preparing, you do taste in between. Why? Just to discriminate whether the vegetable is tasty or not. Another example, when you go to buy some sweets, the vendor does ask you that do you want to taste? So you may taste. Why? To discriminate amongst the different sweets and decide which sweet to take. So discrimination is the main characteristics of the tool. The doctor takes your temperature and he discriminates between your normal temperature and the temperature which you have at that point of time. Okay, now in case of test, the item analysis is to be done on the basis of difficulty level and discrimination index. Why? Because in case of scale or inventory, your responses cannot be designated as correct or incorrect. I have explained you day before yesterday this point, that whatever response you give, it is to be accepted. But in case of a test, your answer may be correct or your answer may be wrong. So when your answer is correct, maybe the item is easy for you, and when your answer is wrong, maybe the item is difficult for you. So you have to do the item analysis in case of test by computing the difficulty level as well as discrimination index. So these are the points which you should keep in the mind. Now, when I do the group tryout, then I take a larger group. Say maybe the size may be equal to approximately 400, or you may take 500, or you may take 300, depending upon your population. Now, these people, they will belong to different places, and they will be the male as well as female, and urban and rural and science and all types of the thing. Now, this 400 should not include those people who were taken for individual tryout. Individual tryout, you have taken 25 people. So these 25 people should not be part of 400 or 300 or 500, whatever you have. So therefore, this group must be the fresh group. And this group you are selecting in such a way so that it represents your population with respect to the main characteristics, because the true representation is not possible. So you have to decide in your own case that which characteristics of the members of the sample, members of the population, should be represented in the sample. As I said earlier, gender, maybe their residential background, maybe medium of instruction, etc., etc. Now, what you do is that whatever the item, 29 items were selected yesterday from the expert tryout and on the basis of the individual tryout. Now, these 29 items, you arrange it in any fashion you like, but you should not arrange it like difficult item first and easy second. No, not like that. Or all positive item first, all negative item second. No, it must be mixed. And then you should make the copies of, because you want to administer on 400, so you should have at least 410 or 15 copies. Why? Maybe one or two is spoiled by the person during administration, so you should have the enough number to replace them. So what you do is you go to one particular institute, and after taking the permission of the head of the institute, you are going, and then you go to the class, whatever you have taken. Then in that class, you talk to the students, introduce yourself, and tell the purpose of your coming. Please be very specific. Do not give those statements which may adversely affect. So you should just introduce yourself and tell them that you are doing research and you are developing a tool and you need their help. And tell them that the performance of on this particular tool will have no relation with their exam, which they will be having. This you should make it very, very, very clear. Okay? Because if this is not clear, then some of the students may be afraid. So that's what you should try to tell them, that it's all right, absolutely no problem. Now what you do is, then you should have the test booklet separate and the answer sheet separate, because your test booklet will not be of 1 page, sometimes it may be of 2 pages or 3 pages. So you should make the 410 or 15 copies of the answer sheet, and on the answer sheet, the students should write their name, their gender, their age, their name of the school, etc. Whatever the information you require for further analysis. And after they have written this information on the answer sheet, then you give one test booklet to them and ask them not to write anything on the test booklet. Test booklet is one which contains the items and also the instruction. So instruction will be the top of it, and after that the items will be there. So ask them not to write anything on the test booklet because you want to use them again. Suppose in this particular school, you have 27 people or 30 people. So you now give them one test booklet copy and ask them to read the instruction first and not to write anything on the test booklet. Now, once they read the instruction, then ask whether they have understood the instruction or not. In case there is a student who has not understood, now it is your duty to explain him. And if all of them have understood, then you can ask them to start writing the responses. When it is a scale or inventory or test, they will be writing their responses. And you can ask them to take as much time as they like. On the test, if you have already decided the time, then you can tell them that on this test, you take half an hour or 25 minutes or whatever it is. If you have not decided, then ask them to take as much time as they like and try to reply all the items. Now, as soon as they start, you can note down the start time. And as soon as they complete on their answer sheet, you can note down the time. Not on the test booklet, on the answer sheet, because you know the starting time and you know the time taken by that candidate in answering, because you have written the time on it, so you can find out. So this procedure, now if in one institute you have gone in the morning, then please, on some institutes you go in the evening, so that you are collecting the data both from morning session people as well as from evening session people. Why? Because your tool, when it is published, the people may use it in the morning or may use it in the evening, so it should be equally applicable to morning session as well as evening session. Now, once you have done this, then now you have to calculate the discrimination index in case of scale and inventory, and you have to calculate the difficulty and discrimination index in case of test. So now after you have collected, you have to do the scoring. So let me tell you the scoring procedure for the scale. Suppose I have my one item is that research methodology is useful. And if I have 3 points, agree, undecided, and disagree. Another item is research methodology is difficult. I have here agree, undecided, and disagree. Now, here important point to be kept in the mind is the first question, the first item is a positive item. So it is a positive item. And second is a negative item. And there are 3 points. So for positive item, the scoring is as that if it is agree, then you give the 3 scores. If it is undecided, you give the 2 score. And if it disagree, you give the 1 score. Now, in case of negative, item scoring, strongly agree, you give 1 marks, undecided 2, and disagree, you give the 3 marks. So this is how the scoring has to be done. And once you do the scoring, you can find out the total score for each person. If you have 29 items, then your minimum score can be for 29 items. The minimum score is 29 and maximum score is not ये 27 2 3 दूनी 6 7 8. It is 87 because the 29 is to be multiplied by 3. So 9 3 are 27. So carry 2, 3 2 are 6 and 80. So therefore the maximum score will be 87 and minimum will be 29. Now what you can do is that now you can make a table . Say this is the serial number. This is your the score. The 1 person, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have the score of the 400 people. And this is the total score. So you know the total score here. Now, on the basis of the total score, now you have to divide the group into 2 parts. Okay, so what you do is that from the 400, you have to divide in the 2 parts. And the part 1 is the top 27%. And another will be bottom 27%. That means from the total score, you can find out the arrange them in the the total score either in the the descending order or ascending order. Which one do you want? Ascending order or descending order? Do you want to arrange them in the ascending order or in the descending order? Okay, if you arrange in the descending order, then you are, so arrange them in the descending order, then your top score will be the maximum and your bottom score will be the minimum. So you are arranging them in the order so these are your 400 scores. Then you take from here, you know that 20% of 400. (27% of 400). This will be 108. So you calculate from top 1, 2, 3, and wherever it is 108, then that will be your top 27%. And now you start counting from the bottom and go up till you get 108. So that will be bottom 27%. You can ask me a question, why only 27%? Because 27% will give you the maximum discrimination. After that, the discrimination doesn't change very much. So if any one of you is interested, you may write one paper. And in that paper, what you can do is, you can do the item analysis by taking 27 from top and 27% from bottom. Then you take 28%, 28%, 29, 29, 30, 30, 31, 30, and try to find out whether the discrimination changes or not. So this what you, and then you can write a good paper out of it. It's a very nice paper you can develop. So therefore, what you are doing is, on the basis of the total score, now you know who belongs to the top 27% and who belongs to the bottom 27%. So 27% and 27% and 54%. So 46% you are leaving out. So 46% cases are left out, because they do not contribute to the discrimination. So any question you want to ask here? Any question you want to ask? Which reference? Which reference you are talking of? You can see the Garrett book. Statistics for Education and Psychology by Garrett. Now, any other question, any other participant like to ask? Krishna, I'm telling you because this is the maximum discrimination. If you take 26 and 26 and 25 and 25, the discrimination differs. But if you take 27 and 27% and 28 and 28, 29 and 29, you will find that the discrimination doesn't change. So this is the number which statistically they have arrived at, where the discrimination becomes maximum. And if you are interested, you can even conduct some research also in order to really understand certain things. Now what you do is that now you know out of 400, the 108 people will be in the upper 27% and 108 people in the lower 27%. So you can insert and make a table. That here is the serial number of the person. Then you take the top 27% and you take bottom 27% and you take the item number 1. Item number 1. There are 108 people. So there are 108 people. So you know the score, which if it is a scale, do you want me to take 3-point scale or 5-point scale? Do you want me to take 3-point or 5-point? Okay, so if it is a 5-point scale, then the maximum score can be 5 and minimum can be 1. So suppose on item number 1, the one person belonging to the top group, he scores 4, another scores 3, another scores 5, another scores 2, another scores 1. So like this. And those they belong to the bottom, they may score something like this. So you will have their scores. Now, you can calculate the mean. So here will be mean 1. and here will be mean 2. And then you can calculate the standard deviation. So here will be standard deviation 1. And here will be standard deviation 2. And now you know the number. So there are 108 people here and 108 people here. Now you can calculate the t value. I hope all of you know how to calculate the t value. So calculate t value. So your t value may be significant, or your t value may not be significant. If your t value is significant, it means that mean 1 and mean 2 differ significantly. Thus, the item number 1 discriminates. So it should be accepted. It should be accepted. Now here, the t value is not there. It means that mean 1 and mean 2 do not differ significantly. So item number 1 does not discriminate. Item number 1 does not discriminate. So it should be rejected. So if you have got 29 items, so some of the items will be rejected and some of the items will not be rejected. So this is the procedure of discrimination you need to do in case of the scale or inventory. Is it clear, or do you want some question? Do you want to ask question, or is it clear? If it is clear, then I'm going ahead with the how to calculate discrimination and difficulty index in case of test. So any question you want to ask? Any other participant like to ask question, please go ahead. Any question you want to ask, please go ahead. Yes, the table of T will be at the degree of freedom, and that you can calculate. The degree of freedom here will be the df will be that n1 plus n2 minus 2. This is the degree of freedom, and there is a standard T table. All of you must be knowing it, so you can do it. No, it is independent sample. It's not paired sample. It is independent sample because the 27% bottom and 27% top, they are different. It is not the same one. They are not the same. The 1% from the top, if you are confused with this, let me take it out. Otherwise, this is just for giving the number, nothing else. So these will be two independent samples, not the correlated one. Chaudhary, is it all right or not? Okay. Now, if you have done, now we go to the next. And next is for the test. In case of a test, after administering and scoring, you can arrange the score in the ascending order or descending order, and you can select the top 27% and bottom 27%. And after you have done it, then you can calculate the discrimination index as well as the difficulty index. So now you have, here is item, and here is your top 27%, and here is your bottom 27%, and then this is your difficulty index, and this is your discrimination index. Discrimination index is also called validity index. So sometimes people may ask you that what is another name for discrimination index. So you should be able to tell that it is validity index. So either you call it validity index or you call it discrimination index, it doesn't make a difference. Suppose your item number 1. Now, from the top 27%, if there are 108 people, out of 108, how many people have attempted it correctly? Suppose 90% of the people attempted it correctly, and suppose 60% of the people attempted it correctly from the bottom group. Now the another item here, say 10% of the people have attempted it correctly, and here 5% of the people have attempted it correctly. Item number 3, here say 16% of the people have attempted it correctly, and here you say 20% of the people have attempted it correctly. Number 4, here say 58% of the people have attempted it correctly, and here let's say 48% of the people have attempted it correctly. So like this you can find out that each item is correctly attempted by what percentage of the people, because here you have 108 people, and here also you have 108 people, because 27% of 400 is 108. Now here it may be 8% of the people have attempted it correctly, and here also say 8% of the people have attempted it correctly. Here maybe 50% of the people have attempted it correctly, and here let's say 49% of the people have attempted it correctly. So this is, you can find out from the top 27 and bottom 27. Now how to find out the difficulty? It is 90 plus 60, and you have to divide it by 2. So 90 plus 60 is equal to 150. And 150 divided by 2 is 75. So you can say 75%, or you can say 0.75. The choice is yours. The another is that I hope you are able to see. Now this will be 10 plus 5 is 15, and this is to be divided by 2, and this will be 7.5%. So this will be 0.075. Now this is 32, 36. 36 divided by 2 will be equal to 18%, or you can say 0.18%. This will be 58 plus 48. So it is 58 plus 48. 8, and this is to be divided by 2, and this comes to 58 plus 48, this is 106, and divided by 2. So this will be equal to 53%. So 53% means so 53% means 0.53. Now this will be 16 divided by 2 will be equal to 9%. And 9% will be equal to 0.09. And this is 99. It is 99 divided by 2. So it is to be divided by 2 and will be 49.5%. And this becomes 0.49495. So this is how you can calculate the difficulty index. Yes, you are right. Now, here, the first item, here the difficulty index is 0.75. It is the higher value. So that means this particular item is easy. So higher the value, the easy will be the item. The second item is difficult, because here it is 0.075. The third item is also difficult. The fourth item, 0.53, is average difficulty. The fifth item is difficult. And the sixth item is average difficulty. So you can find out that which item is difficult and which item is easy. So this is how you have to find out the difficulty level. So I don't know, Rawat, what have you done? No, Rawat, okay. It is 16. So it is 8. All right, it is 8. So that is fine. Now we have to first find out find out the discrimination index. So let us see how do we find the discrimination index. The item whose difficulty index is between, let us say, 0.45 and 0.6, you can say it is average, and which is less than is difficult. And if it is more than 0.6, you can say it is easy. No problem. So your item number 1 is easy, number 2 is difficult, 3 difficult, 4th is average, this is difficult, and 5th is also average. By chance, all the 3 types of items have come. So you have to do it for all your items. Now, how to find out the discrimination. So let me tell you how to find the discrimination index. Now for finding the discrimination index, I have the table, and this is the table, my dear friend. This is the 27%. And this also is 27%. This is 2, 6, 10, 14. This is also 27%. So let me take it on one page. Now my first one is that there are 90% and 60%. So now you see the 90% is here. This is 90%. And now we have to go to 60%. Now here is 50 to 58, and this is 60. So that means I have to go down . So I need to have the values of the 58 and 62, because this is the 90. So I must have because this is the percentage cases, or this is the percentage cases. It's one of the same thing. So this is 58. You can see it here. This is 58 and this is 62. So you can see it from anywhere you like. Gaurav, my dear friend, can't you understand? Gaurav, what did I do first? That from the top 27% and bottom 27%, you take the average. And 90 plus 60 divided by 2 makes it is 75%. So either you can call it 75% or you can call it 0.75. And so you have to take the average of the top 27 and bottom 27. Those people who have given the correct answer on the question number 1, from the top, their percentage, and those people who are from the bottom and they have given the correct answer. So you have to find out their percentages. And then you take the average, and that becomes the discrimination index. Difficulty index. Now I'm going to tell you how to find out the discrimination index. So I hope, Gaurav, now you have understood the difficulty index. Gaurav. Now I'm going to tell you the discrimination. Now in the top 27%, it is 90%, and here it is 60%. So now this is 90%, where my cursor is. And if you go down and down and down and down and down, and then you come to 58 and 60. So this is 58 and this is 62. So in the 58, the value is 0.41. All these values you have to put point. So here it is 0.38. So I will tell you how to calculate, but you should understand this first. That this is the 2% from the top or 2% from the bottom. Or you can say 2% from the top and 2% from the bottom. That means discrimination is 0. If it is 6% from the top and 6% from the bottom, it is 0. So all diagonal will be 0. Now if 2% from the bottom and 6% from the top and 10%, as the number increases, the values, discrimination value also increases. This value is 0.19, this is 0.30, this is 0.37, this is 0.43. So as if you are 2% and if you keep on increasing from the top, then discrimination becomes very apparent. So this is how you can find out the value of the discrimination. Now here let us see how do we calculate the value. That when it is 58, then the value of 90 is 0.41, and when it is 62, then it is 0.38. So let us see how do I calculate. Now you know that bottom 27%, it is 58, it is 58, and it is 62. Now I have to calculate for 60. Now in the top 27% is 90. So therefore, you know the value given here is 0.41, and the value given here is 0.38. So I hope you have understood it. that it is for 58, it was 0.49, and when it was 90, here it was 90. So this is the value. And now this is the value. Now when you go down, the values decrease. You can see it here. That if this is 0.77, this is 0.68, 0.64, 0.57. So as you go down, the values are decreasing. So that means now the difference between 58 and 62 is 4. When 4 is the difference, then the difference between 0.41 and 0.38 is 0.03. 0.41 minus 0.38 is point this. And when the difference is 1, then it is 0.03 divided by 4. Because 58 and 62, the difference is 4. And between 58 and 60, the difference is 2. When the difference is 2, then the value will be 0.03 divided by 4, and this whole has to be multiplied by 2. And when you multiply by 2, then it comes to 0.03 divided by 2. Because 2 4s are, and this will be equal to 0.015. So that means your value at 50 is 0.41, and the value at 60 will be 0.41 minus 0.015. So this becomes the value at 90 and 60. So it will be 0.41 minus 0.015, and this is 0.395. So that becomes the value. So the value here is, so that this is 0.395. Now the 10 and the 5. So let us find out for the second. Now in the second one, now it is 10 and the 5. So this is 10. This is 10. And so you know the value for the top 10 and the bottom 2 and bottom 6. So now I have to find out that top 10 and then bottom is 5. So top 10 and bottom is 5. So I have to find out. So you can see the values here. It is easy that when it is top 10 and bottom 2, top 10 and bottom 2, the value is 0.30. And when it is 6 and top 10, it is 0.11. I hope you have understood that from the top 10 and bottom 2, the value is 0.34, and top 10 and bottom 6, the 0.11. Because I have to calculate for 4 or 5. I have to calculate, I think, for 5. Yes, it is 10 and 5. I have to calculate for 5. So the 5 will be here between 2 and 5. So now let us see. Now, here it is. Bottom 27 is 2, and this is 6. And you have to find out the 5. Now, in the top, you have the top 10, and the value here given is 0.30. And the value given at 6 is 0.11. Now, you know, when the difference between 2 and 6 is 4, when 4 is the difference, then the difference between the top 10 is 0.3 minus 0.11. So you can find out the difference. That is a 0.30 minus 0.11, and that is 0.19, 0.19. And when the difference is 1, then it becomes 0.19 divided by 4. And when the difference is 3, then it will be 0.19 divided by 4, and this whole is to be multiplied by 3. So this will be equal to 0.19 multiplied by 3 is 57. It is 0.57, 0.57. And this is to be divided by 4. And when this is to be divided by 4, the answer is 0.1425. Now, when you are coming down, the values are decreasing. So this value will be 0.30 minus 0.1451425. So you have to subtract, and that becomes the value. So that means 0.30 minus 0.1425. And this becomes the 0.15 0.1575. So this becomes the discrimination of this one, that 0.1575. I hope you have understood. Now, when it is 8 and 8, it becomes 0. You know it. So when it is 16 and 20, let us see what is the value. 16 and 20. Have you understood this calculation? Have you understood the calculation? All right. Now let us go to the next. Next time saying 16 and 20. So this will be the 16 will be between 14 and 18. That is the 16. And then you have the 10. It is 16 and 20, not 10. It is 20. So you can do like this, that you can take like this, that this is 12, this will be the 16. And then you say 20. And 20 will be somewhere here. This is 18. This is 18. And this is 22. So place the 16 and the 20. So the 16 will be from here. This is 16 and this is 20. And then you have the 16 and 20. 20 will be somewhere here. It will not be this.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, there is no 16 in the top line, sir.
Eh?
There is no 16 in the top.
There is no
There is,
screen in the.
there is 14 and 18.
It is, you can find out here. Here, you can find out that this 18 will be this will be the 0 and the 20 will be here. And this is your 22. So if this is your 22, and then the values are here, 22 and 22. So now you have to calculate that it is 18 and 22 and 22. So it is 16 and 20. Okay, 16 and 20. So 16 will be somewhere here. Because 16 and 20, so that means I should have taken this is 14. And then I have taken 16, correct. So I should not take this. I should not take this. So 16 will be here and that 20. So here also, this is 14 and this is, then I should take that 20 will be 18 and 22. So 18 and 22. So these are the values. Please say, I am writing the values. Then when it is that I want bottom, bottom is because I want 16, all right. So I know 14 and I know 18, so I can find out 16. And then here, top is 18 and 22. And here 18 I know is the value is 0.07 and 22 is 0.12. And this is 0.0 and this is 0.06. Correct. So now I am telling you. So I am making a table so that you know it. That here it is bottom 27%. And that is 14 and 18. Because I want to calculate 16. Now then I have the top 27%. And top 27%, I have here the 18, and then I have something here, the 22. So say when bottom is 16 and top is 14, then the value given here is 0.07. And when it is 16, then 18, the value given here is 0.12. Oh no, this is 14. This is 14 and this is 16. And on this side is 18. This is 18 and this is 22. So it is bottom 14 and top 18 is 0.07 and 0. This. And when it is here, then this value is 0.00 and this value is 0.06. Now I have to find out the value here, 18 and 16. So this value I can find it out, and I have to find out here is 20. So I have to find out the value 20 here. So how do I find out this value? This value I can find it out. It is 0.07. It's one of the same thing. It does not make a difference. If you want, you can call it top and you can call it bottom. It's one of the same thing. Nothing to worry about that. You may call it top, or you may call it bottom. Both are same. Nothing to worry about it. So therefore, the value here will be that when the difference is 4, then the difference between this is 0.07. And when the difference is 1, then it is 0.07 divided by 4. And when the difference is 2, then you multiply it by 2. So 0.07 divided by 4, and this whole has to be multiplied by 2. So that means this will be equal to 0.07 divided by 2. And this will be equal to 0.035. So this value becomes 0.035. Why? Because it is decreasing. So you can subtract from 0.7 the 0.03. So this value will become, you subtract from 0.07 minus 0.035, and this will be the same. So 0.07 minus 0.035, and that will be the same. So this value will be 0.035. Let us find out this value now. The difference, when the difference is 4, then the difference is 0.06, because 0.12 minus this, and this becomes this, and this becomes this, and this becomes this, and therefore this becomes this. And it is, now you find out a 0.12 minus 0.06, and this will be 0.06. So this is 0.06. And now you have to find out this. The difference between this is 4, and the difference between this is 4, then the difference between 0.035 and 0.06 is how much? So it is 0.06 minus 0.035, and that comes to 0.025. So 0.025, and when, so this is 0.025, and when the difference is 2, then this will be 0.025. Now, if this I divided by 2, then the answer will be that 0.125. And now, my dear friend, when you are going from 18 to 22, the values are increasing. Now I have to add. Now this value is 0.035, and I have to add 0.0125, and that becomes the value here. And this value will be 0.0475. So I hope you have understood how to calculate these values. The calculation of the value is important, so that you should understand. So now you can say that here it becomes 0.0475. That is the one. So like this you can calculate, and the rule is when now if the discrimination value is equal to or greater than the 0.02, 0.20, then the item discriminates. If it is equal to, so this discriminates. This does not discriminate. When it does not discriminate, it is rejected. Now this also does not discriminate, it is rejected. Now this discriminates, it is, this you have to find out. Now this discriminates, so it is accepted. So like this, now this is 0, so it is rejected. So this is how you can reject and you can select. So we can say selected. So selected and rejected. Now here you have to find out the discrimination. I have not found out. Here also you have to find out the discrimination. Now, once your discrimination is more than 0.2, then you can see the difficulty level. So you have to select the items on the basis of discrimination index first. And if discrimination index is less than 0.2, then the item is rejected. Do not bother about the difficulty level. Okay, so that is this. So your item number 1, it discriminates and the difficulty value is low, so you can select. You have to decide how many difficult item you want and how many easy item you want. So depending upon that, then you have to decide whether your item is rejected or your item is selected. Is it all right? Have you understood now, or any question you want to ask? Is it clear? Or you want to ask the question? And this table is given in the Garrett book, Statistics for Education and Psychology by Garrett. Any question you want to ask, then I proceed further. Do you want to ask any question? If you do not want to ask question, then I am closing. So thank you very much. See you tomorrow. And day after tomorrow will be my last lecture.